Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to whatever day of Chanmas this is. I almost decided not to film today. I almost gave up for today. I need a rally. I desperately need to rally. Let me tell you what's been going on. Last night, for context, when I feed my cats at night, separate them because they all eat at different speeds and wet food is pretty much universally everyone's favorite. So I try to make sure that they don't have access to each other's food, can't eat each other's food, etc. Right? Because of this, Pepper eats in our bedroom for breakfast and for dinner, but this time he was eating his wet food for dinner. And when I came in to check on him, found him laying on the bed and there were a couple of spots of blood about yay big, and I was a little bit confused. I was like, what happened here? For a second I was thinking like, did I bleed on my comforter for some reason, or my duvet cover? I was very perplexed. And then I was like, wait, let me check out Pepper, let me see what's going on. Maybe he scratched himself or something. I realized he pulled out his entire back claw. I don't know how it happened, but one of his back claws ripped entirely out. If you know anything about cats, not great, not good for them. Still, to this day, cannot figure out how that happened, what he managed to do in the time between me putting him in the bedroom and me discovering him. Bizarre. The only saving grace is that when I checked him out and kind of examined his little toesies, he was no longer bleeding. It had already kind of like scabbed over and he wasn't really presently messing with it. It happened at like 9 p.m. So I wasn't going to like rush him to the emergency vet if he was like acting fine, but I did take him bright and early this morning to like get checked out and to get antibiotics. Whenever I like googled this to see like what, you know, protocol you should do or like what you should do when this happens, everyone was saying bring your cat to the vet to make sure that they get checked out and get their wound cleaned, and then they get an antibiotic to make sure that nothing like gets into this like open wound, because cats' claws are kind of like a direct line to their bone, so if they don't have a claw, stuff can enter into their paws and it's just not good. So took him to the vet, dropped him off this morning, which was, you know, hard in and of itself. I really hate having to wrangle him and put him in his carrier. He is the one who is the most resistant to it, and I don't really like traumatizing him. It's like not fun for me or for Hayden. We forgot that today is the day that they were like upgrading, I guess, power lines in our area. So we were without power for the first 3 hours of the day, which have been miserably cold here in Texas lately. Hayden was not able to work. I was not able to eat breakfast, and I have been dealing with an insane amount of nausea the past couple of days. It's been sort of off and on for the past month, I would say, my nausea, but it has been really consistent for the past 3 days, and I really don't like to be a complainer. I feel like it probably seems like that because I'm on here talking about my life and sharing some of the negative things that happen, but I really don't like to be a complainer, especially as I age. Like, I just want to enjoy life, make the best of situations, even when bad things happen. But y'all, I have not been doing really great the past few days. Honestly, this whole month, I just really have not been doing well. Between getting sick back to back, feeling nauseous on and off all month, and not being able to exercise or get outside, I just have not been feeling like myself, and it has really started to affect me. I got home from dropping Pepper off the vet, and I got into bed and I just stayed there. I just stayed there on my phone scrolling TikTok, which is like obviously not the most healthy thing to do, and I have just been kind of in decision paralysis, trying to decide what I should do, because I have plenty of things to do. I could film this video, I could film or any of the planned content that I have for December, but like all of it just seemed so intimidating. Finally managed to rouse myself from bed because I remembered, of course, I'm gonna have to go pick up Pepper. Does it matter if I have makeup on to pick him up? No, I obviously dropped him off without makeup on, but I like to feel human. You know, I want to feel my best, and my skin is in terrible shape, so I wanted to throw some makeup on, and it's been an interesting few days. I remind myself that all of this is temporary. I would be lying if I said that that has not been affecting my mood lately, and it sucks. Like, I was so excited for December, and I'm really trying to turn it around, like, desperately. Every day I wake up and I'm like, okay, how am I gonna make today a good day? I'll be honest, it's been a little challenging to do that, but I'm gonna try to find a way to do that today. And that's why I'm starting off this vlog. I'm putting some makeup on, trying to get some of the things done today that I need to get done, and also be just doing a little bit of self-care. You know, I don't want to go too hard or be too hard on myself when I am just like kind of feeling down and also just like not physically feeling amazing, but I would like to get some stuff done for the, you know, videos that I've got planned. I'm supposed to be filming my Goodreads choice word video on Saturday, and today is Wednesday when I'm filming this, so I've got some time, but I would like to get some reading done today. I need to finish King of Sloth, and I would like to get about 50% of the way into Leather and Lark if I have time, and I also think that it would be fun to read another Christmas romance. I don't know which one I'm going to pick up. I'm thinking like an audiobook. I want to like take it easy on myself, and I was also kind of considering picking up like a new TV show. I keep hearing people talk about Rivals on Hulu, and I'm really interested in it. It's supposed to be, I don't know, set in the 80s in England, in the Cotswolds, I think. It just looks really aesthetically pleasing. Hero, I wouldn't even call him a hero because it's not like a traditional romance or whatever, but apparently there's a relationship in this show that is supposed to be like like so sexy, and it's something that apparently I need to see. So I am kind of excited to potentially give that a try. I don't know how I came across this show because I feel like I haven't seen people in my circles really talking about it, but I feel like I've seen a couple of people on TikTok talk about how amazing it is, and it just sounds like the kind of like frothy silliness that I would like to get into. So I think I'm going to try to do that today. Just a little bit of fun. In terms of other plans, I don't really intend to do much. Hayden and I are going to be staying home and eating dinner at home. We finally went to the grocery store. We had a chicken pot pie yesterday that was so phenomenal. It's funny because along the way there were like multiple things that went wrong there too. The like filling didn't really thicken up, so it was more like a soup than an actual pot pie. And then the crust, after Hayden had like lovingly laid it over the cast iron skillet, fell into the pot pie. It was kind of going through it. I was kind of going through it. It turned out pretty good though. It was pretty tasty, all things considered. I don't know what we're gonna have for dinner tonight, but I do have a ton of really, like comforting stuff picked out for the week. I was just really in a home cooked like casserole sort of mood. So we've got a pot pie, we've got a few other things that I think are gonna kind of hit the spot and hopefully maybe not exacerbate my upset stomach. So fingers crossed that that happens. The only other thing that I need to do today is edit today's vlog that's going live on the vlog channel. Again, I guess today is more ambitious than I had really intended. I'm not trying to get absolutely everything done that I have mentioned. It would be nice if I could get some of those little to-dos done, and then I would be, I guess, ultimately satisfied with my productivity and or feeling like, you know, I wasn't just laying in bed all day. So I am going to finish up my makeup. I am going to await the call from my vet that they have seen Pepper. I don't know if y'all's vets do this, but for mine, if you don't have like a formal appointment and you like need to see them on kind of like an urgent basis, they will allow you to bring your pet in and kind of like chill in the back with like the vet techs and the vet and wait until like the vet can see your pet. So I'm just like kind of waiting to hear something. I dropped him off a couple of hours ago, but it's always hard waiting to hear something. Like I know he's fine ultimately, but I feel like that has also kind of impacted my ability or my desire to get things done. I'm going to, I think, edit my vlog in the meantime. Let's do that and I'll report back when I'm done. Hello friends, I am cozy. I am so cozy. I'm having a delightful self-care day and I feel like I've gotten a decent amount done. I was able to edit, upload, get live the vlog that I was working on. I also finished King of Sloth and I did read a little bit of Leather and Lark, so I'm feeling really good and I'm really excited honestly to watch a little bit of TV and then wash my hair. My hair is so dirty. I can just tell my scalp really needs a good cleanse, and I'm going to use the Pantene volumizing shampoo. It's supposed to be really good for cleansing, and I say supposed to. I've actually used the shampoo in the past. As you can tell, I'm like way too influenced by Abby Young if you watch her channel. I think the reason I'm so influenced by her channel in particular is we have such similar hair types, that kind of like really silky, medium density hair. Everything that she's recommended has been phenomenal, and she reminded me of how much I loved that deep cleansing shampoo. It's called the volumizing shampoo from Pantene, but it's got a lot of sulfates and will really get your scalp clean, so like I really need that tonight, plus like a little bit of a mask on my ends. I'm excited to do that, but I thought I could tell you a little bit about King of Sloth and then I guess tell you other things. First, let's talk about King of Sloth, shall we? I wanted to bring this one up because I have to say I was like pretty pleasantly surprised with this as compared to some of Van Hoang's other books recently. I just haven't been in love with the series, and I can't say I was like in love with this book, but I did really like Javier and Sloane's connection and the kinds of characters they were. I feel like I don't read characters like this that often. The whole like golden retriever, black cat energy sort of thing. The heroine was just very stoic and had, you know, issues with her family, and I couldn't necessarily relate to her on all of that, but I did find her to be a sympathetic and like very unique character, and I liked how Javier was like kind of good for nothing. He was kind of giving like Chuck Bass vibes, like kind of a party animal until he found something that he was really passionate about. I mean, he opens his own club, so it is very like Chuck Bass coded, but I appreciated this one because there were definitely steamy moments, but this one did not feel super sex heavy to me. And after just bitching in the last vlog about how sex heavy stuff has gotten, I feel really happy that this one was not like that, right? It wasn't the most swoony, giggly, like kick my feet up sort of like romance, but I did appreciate that this was just a really solid book, you know? It didn't piss me off, and that's all I can really ask for the Goodreads reading challenge, you know what I mean? Like, the books that I have to read for that, never stuff that I would really, like, pick up on my own. I don't say never. I mean, I do like Anna Huang stuff sometimes, but, like, I wasn't probably going to pick this one up on my own. It wasn't something I was, like, super jazzed about, but anyway. Other musings. Other things I've been thinking about now that I have been spending too much time alone with myself. Back to hair, kind of, maybe. I'm not going to rush into anything drastic or dramatic, but I kind of want to change my hair. I feel like I have enjoyed these highlights. I have had fun with the dimension, but what I really want, and I think I'm just being influenced by TikTok, honestly, is to cut off like just a little bit of the length, maybe about yay much, and go back to just like my natural color. Yes, this always happens. I feel like I like sit down to film and then Binky screams. As y'all probably noticed, I feed him in a different room because he eats everybody's food. Actually have to make sure everybody's done eating. Yeah, everybody's like just eating the crumbs right now. Binky lets me know when he's finished in here. So, you all done? Yeah, stinky little man. Yeah, you gonna follow me? No, because he wants to eat the crumbs. He wants to eat the crumbs. He's so gross, otherwise I'd show him to you. He's down there. What was I talking about? Oh, I want a haircut, I think. I'm just getting a little bit tired, especially since I've been blow drying my hair more recently, of having to blow dry this amount of hair. It's just kind of a lot, honestly. I love the dimension that the highlights bring, but I've just been missing that like rich all over chocolate brown color. So I don't know how I'm feeling. If I want to schedule that appointment, if I want to like wait a little bit, probably will wait obviously until the New Year's to do it, but something that has been on my mind. And then another thing, I was just watching my dear friend Olivia's vlog. She and I talk often, so we're on the same page about a lot of things, or things are often, I don't want to say like shared between our two brain cells, but she was talking in a video kind of about being more intentional with spending, but specifically was talking about the pressure to have a very like cleanly or aesthetic home, and that was just really connecting with me. I think that's one of the things that tends to weigh on me. I'm not saying you need to tell me all of your trauma in the comments down below, but I wonder sometimes what things tend to come up in people's brains when they feel like they are slacking in their lives, right? Like, do you ever get in depressive funks? I know a lot of us do. You ever get into a depressive funk, and like, what are the things that come to mind and to like drop the ball on when you are depressed? She was really resonating with me when she was talking about seeing people's TikToks and their houses are just immaculately clean, not just like tidy, but like so clean. Like, there's not a speck of dust, not a speck of cat hair anywhere. I feel like for myself, and maybe it's just the way I was raised, I feel like I put this inordinate pressure on myself to have an incredibly clean home, and I'm not naturally an incredibly clean person despite being raised to be one. It does not come naturally to me. That is something that like constantly pops up in my head whenever I am depressed. I'm like, God, my house is so disgusting. Like, I need to make sure that my bed is made and that everything is perfectly vacuumed and dusted and all these things. And I'm like, that doesn't come naturally to me. It's not something that like I instinctually do anyway, which is not to say that it like shouldn't be done ever. Like, I'm not saying that. It's interesting the impossible standards I think we set for ourselves even when we are depressed, when half the time when we're depressed we can't even get out of bed, but we still have these like things that come up that we're like, oh, I need to make sure I do that. I think Olivia was kind of viewing it more through the lens of like, my house doesn't have to be perfectly clean or perfectly aesthetic because life is not Instagram, and I agree with that to an extent, but it also got me thinking just about like the things that we put on ourselves, these like impossible standards, I guess, to live up to just in our own mind. And for me, I think my big ones are like being hyper productive, just impossibly productive, I guess, like I used to be. I honestly don't know how I used to be as productive as I was. And then this idea of having an impossibly clean home. So those things kind of come up for me. And I was reminded of it as I was like feeding my cats today. I was like, oh, there's so much here that I would like love to clean and love to like get on my hands and knees and scrub, but like not there mentally, don't have the bandwidth for it at the moment. So these are the things that are on my mind. Other things that I've done in the meantime. Oh, I ate dinner, and can I just shout out the most incredible man? Like, I keep pointing up there. It's not God that I'm pointing to, it's Hayden, whose office is above our bedroom. We've obviously been having some pretty frank conversations about our budget and like what we want to do going forward in certain categories. Decided that we don't want to do as many like snap kitchen orders because, I mean, frankly, they are a little pricey and we can just meal prep at home. The reason we've been doing it and the reason that I have been, ordering those is because I really don't want to ask him to cook beyond dinner. I feel guilty. I feel silly for doing that, but I also don't enjoy cooking and I'm not very good at it. But he's always like so willing to cook for me. And anyway, I requested that he make me a batch of soup that I could have throughout the week for for lunches, and he made me soup after we had dinner today, which like I'm so lucky and so grateful for him. I am so excited to have those soups. I think that's also going to help me so much. I don't know, my appetite, my nausea has been so all over the place the past few days. We haven't, had a ton of food like prepped, so I've had to eat things that are maybe not the best for my stomach and my digestion. So having like a really nice veggie soup. I think I've linked this recipe before. Try to link it again. Creamy vegetable soup. It's got a decent amount of protein because there's white beans in it, and then like every veggie a vegetable. It's so comforting and delightful, and with a sourdough piece of bread, I'm in love. I like probably eat the soup forever. So just really grateful for him for cooking that for me. And I, while he was cooking, was finishing reading that book, King of Sloth, but I also was watching some more personal style videos. It's been fun. I've been like educating myself on like fabrics and things like that, and I haven't been totally out of the loop, but it is really cool getting to get back to a part of yourself you're missing. I don't think I've really talked about that aspect. Like I've definitely talked about like, oh, I'm excited to buy clothes, I'm excited to like dress nice, and that's part of it, obviously. Like I'm excited to like have clothes that I like again, but a bigger part of it is just I felt like I lost a part of myself. I wasn't taking care of myself. I used to love fashion creatively and to like express my personal style, and like I just really lost that. In college I wasn't really buying clothes because everybody just wore oversized t-shirts and shorts because it's hot in Texas going to class, and then after college the only thing I was purchasing was like work office clothes, and then I was working from home and was in sweats all day. So I don't know, I just feel like I lost that sense of self, and I lost that part of my identity, I guess. It's just really nice to even get to like daydream about clothes again that like I am committing to actually wearing real clothes and committing to actually finding like my own personal style. Like it is ultimately not that important in the big scheme of things, and sometimes when I bring up clothes or fashion or like indulge in these things, I feel silly because I don't think that like personal style or like having the perfect wardrobe is really going to like make or break how people see you or like how I see myself. But it is really cool again to like rediscover old things that I love. All my musings, I guess, is what I'm sharing with you today. I think I'm gonna sit down and watch an episode of Rivals though before I hop into the bath, because I really want to see what the show is all about. So I'll be back. I'll report back on my thoughts and feelings because I feel like I might need to convince you to watch it if it's good. Oh my god, that might be one of the raunchiest things that I've watched in a while. I'm not a pearl clutcher, okay? But like the amount of dick and boobies I saw was a lot for television, but it's fine. I think I liked it. It's an interesting show. I think it's like more complex than I had initially anticipated. You've got the head of a TV network who is trying to ensure that they get the network renewed, because I guess in the UK you get your network renewed every 5 years. If you don't get it renewed, you're fucked. And I guess this network's up for renewal, and so he's trying to poach people from other networks to come to his so that he'll have a better chance of getting renewed. So he gets this kind of more serious journalist from the BBC to come to his channel, essentially. And this guy brings his 2 daughters and his wife. I think him and his wife have kind of a weird relationship that's on the rocks. The eldest daughter is the one that I think has like this sort of age gappy relationship with another of the main characters. And I still don't really understand his character, like the guy that I think that she ends up getting with. He is, I think, quite a few years older than her. He owns this like estate. I think he was like polo player or something, horse riding guy. I don't know. He's supposed to be like such hot shit, and he fucks everybody's wives. Okay, at the beginning of this show, this man is fucking people's wives. Anyway, the daughter of the like serious journalist or whatever sees this man fucking someone else's wife, and like I think brings it up at the party that they're all attending, and shit kind of hits the fan. And I don't know, we find out at the end of the show that like everybody is like having affairs, and it's all very scandalous in the Cotswolds. And so it's definitely a frothy kind of silly show, but it's a little bit more complex than I initially thought. Is David Tennant's in it? Like it's an interesting one. It's set in the 80s. I don't really feel like it's set in the 80s, like besides a couple of song choices. I feel like the costuming is like not all that 80s, except for the stuff that they have David Tennant dressed in. He's got that like school Spider-Man fucking like the guy at the newspaper smoking a cigar kind of vibes. I'm doing a terrible job at describing the show. I'm entertained so far. I can't say that this is like the best thing I've ever watched. I feel like it's worth checking out if it interests you. I would say watch the first episode. I think it's gonna be fun. So I'm having a good time with it. I think though it's time for me to move to the bathroom because I need to wash this hair and get ready for bed. And I was reminded that I don't think I have shown y'all this before. I am a really big fan of a luxurious bath experience. I wash my hair in the bath, but I also like my baths to be incredibly luxurious. I don't know what it is about this bath oil. I can use this. It doesn't make my body greasy. It doesn't make my hair greasy. It just makes everything smell amazing. This is English pear and freesia, and I got this last Christmas and I'm still not finished with it. And I use it every time I bathe. It is so delicious. And I don't use scented like body wash, so this just beautifully scents my tub. It just makes everything better. I put like half a capful in every bath. I think that's why it's lasted so long. That, my friends, is my cue. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.